BookTube, and welcome to another weekly reading vlog. Well, with apologies, I'm going to make the same spiel I make every week. It's late over here, it's past my bedtime, I'm tired, so I'm going to try and do this as quickly as possible, which, as I say every week, is probably for the best anyways. I tend to ramble on a lot. So, in terms of books, I'm down to just these two here. I finished off the Linguistic Wars and reviewed it earlier this week. So, down to two real books plus a comic book. And yeah, this is quite a hefty book. So I guess I'll talk about this one first because this is new on the list. And apologies as always for my camera showing everything in mirror image. Just bear with me. It's Marvel Horror Lives Again. It's an omnibus collection of Marvel horror comics from the 1970s, mostly from the 1970s. A few from the early 80s, it looks like. Maybe one from the late 80s, but mostly 70s. So this is a library book, although this is another book that is in our library because I ordered it. So I'm working here in Vietnam, and I'm trying to encourage my Vietnamese students to do more extensive reading. So I was on a project to order comic books for the library that I thought would appeal to the students. It's been my experience for a long time teaching teenagers in multiple countries that there's a real connection between teenagers and horror. They love horror. So I ordered this one. This is Marvel Horror Lives Again. And the reason I ordered this one instead of Marvel Horror, which was the original edition, the original anthology, is because that Marvel Horror seems to be out of print and sold out. At least that was my impression on Amazon. So Marvel Horror Lives Again, the second book. I had no idea it was so bulky when I ordered it. That's a good thing, and to some degree you are definitely getting your money's worth. I mean, how many pages is this? This is about 1,200 pages. 1,175, so almost 1,200 pages. But it's with that bulk comes certain inconvenience. It's heavy. My arms are a little bit tired just holding it up right now. Just getting it from the library back to my apartment. It was weighing down my bag. I suspect the bulk of it may be putting some students off of reading it. It's been in the library for about a year now. I don't know how many times it's been checked out. I think just a handful of times. So yeah, I had no idea it was such a massive volume when I ordered it, but this should be keeping me busy for the next several weeks. I'm up to page 118 already, and I'm reading through the beginning. I'm starting at the beginning. So and another problem here, just because it's so big, I think it's going to be a little bit awkward to pick up and show on camera. But the first ones, they're organized kind of by characters. So the first ones are from Blade, originally from Tomb of Dracula. But then in some of his own books, and a number of them are in black and white, which apparently is the way they were printed at the time. Marvel Horror in the 70s did some black and white comics. This probably isn't going to show up on camera so well, but they're not always clear and easy to read. I don't know if you can see from these panels. This is cumbersome to hold up like this. This is going to be a problem talking about this book in the weekly reading vlogs. Now, I don't know if this is just how they originally were when they were printed in black and white, or if this is a problem with the reprints. But a lot of these black and white panels are a little bit difficult to read. Like this text here. I don't think it comes through on the camera so much, but it's this kind of gray with white letters faded is a little bit difficult to read. But yeah, they're not all in black and white. There are some color ones as well. Ugh. All right. So yeah, started this one, and in spite of all the complaining I just did, I do have to say I have been enjoying it. Whether or not these things are objectively good or not, who can say? But they're definitely, you know, junk, and they tickle the junk food part of your reading brain. So I've been enjoying that. Then on to professional development, how to teach listening. I was on page 112 last time, and I read 10 pages this week, 122. So this is for my professional development as an English teacher. I was complaining in previous weeks that I wasn't getting any good ideas out of this book, that all the ideas were really crap. But this final chapter, preparation and planning, it's got a mix. It's got some really terrible ideas in here, but it's intermixed with some ideas that just might work in the classroom. So I'm feeling like I'm getting a lot of ideas in these past 10 pages in the chapter on preparation and planning, and I may try some of them out in the near future. We'll see. And then Journey to the West. I read 58 pages this week, so up to chapter 55. Now, the last, I think, couple weeks, or maybe more, I haven't talked about this book because I was my reading progress had slowed down, and I was right in the middle of kind of one episode, and I thought I'll just finish the episode and then I'll talk about it. The overarching plot is there's a monk who's traveling west. I don't know how. Yeah, it's right there in the title, west. Yeah. Monk who's traveling west to get the Buddhist scriptures, accompanied by a pig, a monkey, and a friar Sand, and another disciple. So the episode that I had been on, the monk got captured by a horned demon. There are all these demons in the mountains. Captured the monk and the pig. Now the monkey had drawn a magic circle around them to keep them safe. Now this is one of the monkey seems to have some powers that just come up at the convenience of the plot. In my opinion, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. But this drawing a circle in the dirt that could keep people safe seemed to be one of these newly announced powers. But anyways, it didn't work because the pig convinced the monk to leave the circle, and they got captured by the horned demon. The monkey was out begging for food. So the monkey had several battles with the horned demon. It's like a lot of these episodes in the book. The number of battles do seem to just go on and on. It's mostly one of the fun things about reading this book. But the horned demon had this magic ring, which when he would throw it up, it would kind of grab everyone's weapons. So it grabbed Monkey's weapon, and Monkey knew somehow, just from the way that this demon was acting or something. I forget exactly how he knew, but he knew somehow that this demon was probably more than he appeared to be. Monkey thought maybe it was one of the celestial stars, or one of the constellations would come down to Earth. A few of the previous antagonists and a few of the previous demons that Monkey has fought earlier in the book have turned out to be from the stars or from the heavens. So Monkey went up to the heavens and had them do an audit and make sure all the stars were in their place. And then he convinced the Emperor of Heaven, the Jade Emperor, to loan him some of the celestial beings. Like, I forget, the god of lightning and thunder, or a couple other of these um, celestial beings, heavenly beings, to come down and fight this demon with them. And they were fighting with him, but then the demon threw up his ring again and captured all the fire from the god of fire, and captured the lightning bolts from the god of thunder and lightning. So then all these gods have been robbed of their special weapons. So then Monkey went to the Buddha. Now, yeah, another weakness of this book, something I've mentioned a few times before, is whenever Monkey encounters some sort of demon that he can't defeat, there seems to be no end to. He just hops on his cloud and calls in reinforcements. It goes up to the heavenly emperor, goes all the way to Buddha sometimes, goes to the Bodhisattva Guanyin. So it does strike me a little bit as cheating. It takes a little bit of the suspense out of the narrative, the fact that Monkey can just hop up on his cloud and fly off to get reinforcements, instead of having to, use his own strength or wits to defeat the demons. At the same time, though, the fact that Monkey is going to all these exotic places, like the heavenly kingdoms, or the Buddhist kingdom, or Buddha's dwelling place, I mean to say. The fact that he's going to all these amazing places makes the book quite interesting to read. Your imagination is stimulated by all these places he goes to, and the narrator does describe kind of the wonders of each place he goes to. So it's a wonderfully fantastic book in that sense. So Monkey goes to meet Buddha. Buddha sends a bunch of arahats, I think they're pronounced, which I don't know what that is exactly, some sort of celestial being, who have cinnabar, which is some sort of magic spice or something, to fight the demon with them. And they go and they drop their magic cinnabar, but the demon throws his magic ring again and just catches them. And then the Buddha wouldn't tell Monkey where the demon was from, but the Buddha did give one of his arahats instructions that Monkey could visit Lord Lao, who's another one of these gods, I guess, in Chinese mythology. He's popped up in this book a few times before. So Monkey goes to Lord Lao, and then at the moment Monkey is talking to him, Lord Lao realizes that his water buffalo has gone missing. So that's who this demon is. It's Lord Lao's water buffalo. And again, this is similar to a couple instances that have popped up in this book in the past, where the demon turns out to be an escaped pet of one of the celestial beings. There's the river monster turned out to be the Bodhisattva's escaped goldfish. One of the monsters was like the lion of another celestial being. It's popped up a few times in the book before, but at the same time, even though it's getting a little bit repetitive, I find it interesting to in the mythology of this book. Any animal creature can attain magical powers by studying the way, the secret meditations, humans as well as animals. So these animals are able to acquire these powers and become good, or in a lot of cases evil. So yeah, the water buffalo was recaptured by Lord Lao, and then all the little demons, which had been helping him, were extinguished by the monkey and the other celestial beings, and everyone got everything back. And then the journey continues. So Monkey and Pig and the monk and the other guy, Friar Sand, get to a river that they need to cross, and they are able to get a ferry to take them across. which is an old woman, and they're confused about why it's a woman. They said, "What? Why does your husband make you do the ferrying instead of himself?" And she doesn't answer. Um, and then they get to the other side, and Pig and the monk drink some of the water, and then come down with horrible stomach aches. And they get help from some of the houses along the way, and it turns out that the water from this river makes you pregnant if you drink it. And also that this land only has women in it and no men. So the way they're able to get pregnant is by drinking the water. So, Monkey and the monk and the pig are in agony where this fetus is growing within them. And they have two choices. One is to let it grow to term and give birth. Now that they don't have the equipment for giving birth, as they point out, but the women say it'll find a way. There'll be some crack or hole that will open up inside of your body, and you can deliver it. And the monkey and the pig think this sounds incredibly painful. There is another water which will give you an abortion. Interesting that nowadays, when abortion is such a political issue, I guess, to see how it's portrayed here in these ancient books. But I'll pass that by, I guess. In my translation here, it's called the miscarriage water, but it seems to be having an abortion. So the monkey goes to this cave where the abortion water is, but it's guarded by a Taoist monk. So Taoists are quite frequently the antagonists in this book because this book is from a Buddhist perspective. But moreover, this particular Taoist monk has a grudge against Monkey because he is the brother of the bull demon and the uncle of the red boy demon who Monkey had encountered in the previous chapters. This book, even though it's episodic, does have a loose continuity, and there are callbacks to quite often to earlier adventures and earlier demons. There's another long back and forth where Monkey fights him for a long time. Monkey's able to defeat him, but the problem is whenever Monkey defeats him, he runs away, and then when Monkey stoops down to draw the water into the bucket, then he or his disciple come back, and Monkey can fight him, but Monkey can't fight him and draw the water at the same time, and he always runs away right when Monkey's about to defeat him. So Monkey comes back with Friar Sand, who's another one of the disciples who's traveling with them, and together they defeat the Taoists and they get the abortion water, and then they go on to the land of women. Now, the land of women, they've not seen a man in what seems to be a little bit inconsistent, in my opinion. Again, maybe I've missed something. It's stated that they've not seen a man like since the kingdom was founded or something like that. On the other hand, they do have like a special station for receiving male visitors. The other thing that seems a little bit inconsistent while I'm going on about this is the monk himself. Sometimes he seems to be portrayed as an old man, and sometimes he seems to be portrayed as a young man. And again, maybe I'm just not reading closely enough, but some passages he seems to be depicted as old, and other passages he seems to be depicted as young. I got the impression at the beginning of the book that he was a young monk, but since then it seems to have varied. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But but the women are infatuated with the monk. The other thing is as well, the monk has never released his seed, as the book says. And I picked up from another source. This was from the, what was it called again? The Great Courses series by, I forget, the Great Courses series. The History of World Literature, they talked about this book. And the professor said that the part of the monk's longevity was connected to him never having released his seed. So women would want to try and get him to release his seed to get his longevity. Um, Although that actually doesn't come up at this point. That comes up a little bit later. At this point, they're just plain infatuated with him, and the queen wants to marry him. Um, Now, normally Monkey and the pig and the rest of them would kind of fight it out, but they can't fight it out with the queen here because the queen's not really done anything wrong. She's a human being. She's not a demon. She's just infatuated with the monk and wants to marry him. So they trick her. They have her give like a whole wedding feast, and then they have her escort them to the border, and they tell her that only the disciples are going to continue, but once they get to the border, then they reveal that they're actually all going to continue on. And the monkey at this point is going to use his power to immobilize people. And that's another inconsistency, it seems to me. The monkey has these powers sometimes and he doesn't have these powers sometimes. Like when he was fighting the one-horned demon with the ring earlier, why didn't he use his power to immobilize people then? I don't know, but he's got his power to immobilize people, and he's going to use it. But it seems like it's not really necessary. The queen is going to let them go. But then a woman runs up to the monk and she says, you must make love to me. And then she carries him away in a whirlwind. And she's actually a she-demon, as it turns out, who's trying to get the monk to make love to her. And the monkey tries to rescue her and has a couple fights with her. And that's where I'm up to now. So yeah, that's up to chapter 55, and in the middle of chapter 55 at the moment. So I'll keep reading on this and maybe check in next week and let you know how things have developed. But that's all for this week. See you next week.